And while dealing with the properties of Z transform, basically these properties make this Z transform a very powerful tool. Okay. What this property says, the very first property is linearity property. Linearity property. Linearity property says that if a signal x1n is having Z transform x1z, and suppose another signal x2n is having the identity in transform domain as x2z. Okay. Now suppose if we have a complex signal x3n which can be broken in the form of component of x1n and x2n. This complex signal can be broken in the form of these components x1n and x2n, where x1n and x2n are elementary signals that we have discussed so far. This means suppose if x1n was like alpha and un, okay, or something like un, or some more kind of elementary signals are there. Okay. So suppose if this x3n can be broken as x1n and x2n, such that suppose this x2n is multiplied by some scalar a2 and suppose this x1n is multiplied by some scalar a1, then the Z transform of this x3n, which will be called x3z, and this will be equal to these individual Z transform sum together and scaled by the same scalar. Got my point? So if the Z transform of these basic signals are known to you, and this complex signal is made up of these basic signals, then the Z transform of this complex signal can be easily evaluated. What I mean to say, the Z transform of this complex signal can directly be evaluated simply from the Z transform of these basic signals. Okay. So let us see the significance of this property while taking some examples. Suppose we have a signal xn equals to this is the signal, and we have to evaluate the Z transform of this signal. Okay. As you are looking that this signal is simply the sum of two basic signals that we have gone through so far. The very first signal is, say, this signal. This can be written as, say, x1n can be written as 2 is to the power n un. 2 is to the power n un. I am breaking it in two parts. Okay. And x2n can be written as 3 is to the power n un. And we are knowing what will be the Z transform of alpha n un. The Z transform of alpha n un will be 1 over 1 minus alpha Z inverse. Okay. This has already been done, provided what will be the ROC? Mod Z is greater than mod alpha, and this is the at the place of alpha we have 2. Okay. So naturally the Z transform of this x1n will be equal to x1z, and this will be 1 over 1 minus 2 Z inverse, 2 Z inverse. Okay. And mod Z is greater than 2, where mod Z is greater than 2. What about this second signal x2n? Its Z transform. This is x2z, and this is equal to 1 over 1 minus 3 Z inverse, provided mod Z should be greater than 3. Okay. So, what these two ROCs says that in the ROC of this signal, we have all the points which is having in all the points in the Z plane which is having value greater than 2. We will draw a circle of radius 2. And what about the ROC of this? This will contain all the point which is having radius greater than 3, because mod Z is greater than 3. Okay. Now, since the Z transform of this 2 to the power n un is this, what will the Z transform of 3 multiplied by this? It will be simply weighted by this 3, and this will be simply weighted by 4. And what about the Z transform of the total signal? It is 3 over 1 minus 2 Z inverse minus 4 over 1 minus 3 Z inverse. Okay. And now the region of convergence will be the common region between these two, common region between the two plots. And what is the common region between the two plots? If we superimpose the two plots over each other, the common region is all the points which is having value greater than 3. Okay. So, the common region of convergence will be mod Z greater than 3. Okay. So, this has been evaluated simply by using the linearity property. Now, let us see another problem, and this is very often used in problem solving. Suppose we have a signal xn equals to cos omega 0 n un. We have to evaluate the Z transform of this signal. Prima facie, it looks to be very complex to evaluate the Z transform of this signal, but it can be found very easily by using Euler's identity. If you recall the Euler's identity, it can be broken into the simple signal cos omega 0 n is equal to half e to the power j omega 0 n plus e to the power minus j omega 0 n. Am I right? This cos can be written like this. Okay. So, simply I am writing the signal like this, half e to the power j omega 0 n, okay, plus e to the power minus j omega 0 n, this un over here and this un over here, like this. Okay. Now, this is the Z transform of this. Suppose this is broken into two signals, this is x1n and this is x2n. This can be assumed as a x2n. We will evaluate the Z transform of this and Z transform of this, and we will make the summation. Okay. So, what is the Z transform of this? This is like your alpha. E to the power j omega can be assumed as alpha. This is alpha and un kind of situation. This is alpha and un kind of situation. Okay. So, this will be 1 over 1 minus e to the power j omega 0. Okay. J omega 0 Z inverse. Got my point? And what will be the region of convergence? Mod Z is greater than mod alpha. Mod Z is greater than mod alpha. And what is mod alpha over here? Mod value of e to the power j omega 0, it is 1. Mod value of e to the power something is 1. Because what is amplitude contained in this signal? This is 1. So, mod Z will be greater than 1 is the region of convergence for this signal. What about the region of convergence for this signal? Or what is the closed form expression for the Z transform? This will be 1 minus e to the power minus j omega 0 Z inverse. Am I right? And mod Z is still, it is having value greater than 1. and whole thing is multiplied by half to get this expression. Okay. Now we will further simplify this expression. We will further simplify this expression. How it can be simplified? You let us do this job. 1 minus e to the power j omega 0 z inverse and 1 minus e to the power minus j omega 0 z inverse. Okay. This will be equal to 1 minus e to the power minus j omega 0 z inverse plus 1 minus e to the power j omega 0 z inverse. Am I right? Okay. And this is multiplied by half. So let us open this bracket and do the operation. This will be 2 and this will be 2 minus, okay, take this thing common, e to the power j omega 0 plus e to the power minus j omega 0, okay, and this z inverse. Am I right? And better if you divide it by 2 and multiply it by 2. I am doing operation in numerator part. And then, got my point? And then the multiplication of these two factors, 1 minus e to the power minus j omega 0 z inverse and minus e to the power j omega 0 z inverse, okay, and plus this will cancel out and z is to the power minus 2. Am I right? Okay. So this is 2 minus z inverse and this is what? This is cos omega 0 n, cos omega 0 n, and this is multiplied by 2, these two. Okay. And what about the, and here whole thing should be multiplied by this half. Okay. What about this? This is 1 minus z inverse and here also you take these things common. So I am taking this z inverse, e to the power j omega 0 plus e to the power minus j omega 0. Am I right? And this has further been divided and multiplied by 2 to make it cos, plus z is to the power minus 2. Okay. And this is multiplied by half. Okay. Now let us see what is going to happen. We have 2 minus 2 z inverse cos omega 0, no? Where is this n? This is cos omega 0. Okay. Cos omega 0 over 1 minus 2 z inverse, and what about this? This is also cos omega 0 plus z is to the power minus 2, and we will take out this 2 outside, so this will be this. Okay. And this is useful in cancelling these two. All right. So the final expression is 1 minus z inverse cos omega 0 over 1 minus 2 z inverse cos omega 0 plus z to the power minus 2. Okay. This is the closed form expression for the z transform of what? Cos omega 0 n un. This is the z transform of this. And what would be the ROC? What would be the ROC? If you simply recall the ROC from here, the ROC is mod z greater than 1 when we have started our problem. And here for the second term, the ROC, yes, the ROC is mod z greater than 1. So, the overall ROC will be mod z greater than 1. Okay. The reason where both the terms, both the mathematical terms agree, and this is the reason where both the term agrees. So, the common region of convergence is mod z greater than 1. Okay. We can approach in a similar fashion for the other signal, and this signal is, we have to evaluate the z transform of the signal. Xn is equal to sin omega 0 and un. This I will leave as an exercise for you. Okay. Basically, the Euler's identity here says that this will be equal to sin omega 0 n will be equal to 1 over 2j and e to the power j omega 0 n, okay, minus e to the power minus j omega 0 n over 2 un. Am I right? Okay. So, you will solve for these two expressions. Getting my point? And finally, you will reach up to the expression that this z transform comes out to be equal to z inverse sin omega 0 over 1 minus 2 z inverse cos omega 0 plus z is to the power minus 2 with ROC mod z greater than 1. Okay. You can very easily reach up to this point. Okay. Simply by solving these two expressions independently. This is one of the expression in the form of alpha and un, and this is another expression in the form of alpha and un, and they can be solved independently, and then they will be mixed up to form this form of the expression. Okay. These were the example for linearity property, to elaborate linearity property of the Z transform. And one more property is time shifting property. Time shifting property. Okay. What this time shifting property says that, suppose if we have a signal, like this is n and this is xn, and suppose if we have shifted, we obtained z transform of this signal, and suppose the obtained z transform is xz, means in transform domain the picture of this xn, the picture of this signal is like xz, and suppose if we make a shift in this signal, if we shift this signal by 2 unit in time, this means this signal is now going to exist from this point in time. Okay. Now, this is x n minus 2, and if we wish to evaluate the z transform of this signal, so we will investigate that whether there is any correlation between the z transform of this signal with this signal. Okay. Is there any correlation? Can we directly evaluate the z transform of this signal simply by doing something on the z transform of the original signal? So, let us see. The z transform of original signal was xz, and xz is defined as summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn, z is to the power minus n. Suppose if we have to evaluate the z transform of xn minus k, so the z transform of rather xn minus k and the z transform of this can be defined as summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x n minus k z is to the power minus n. Okay. So if you put n minus k to be equal to m, n minus k to be equal to m, put n minus k to be equal to m. Okay. What will result over here? This minus n will become what? Minus, rather let us solve it. It will be from m is equal to minus infinity to infinity x m z is to the power minus, and this will be m plus k. Alright, this will be m plus k. So if you open this bracket, it will be z is to the power minus k, and z is to the power minus k is independent to everything. So it will come out from this summation z is to the power minus k, and what is inside this summation? M starting from minus infinity to infinity, summation starting from minus infinity to infinity, xm z is to the power minus m. And what is this? This is z transform of xn. xm you say, or you say xn, they are same, because m and n, they are dummy variables. Okay. So this is equal to z is to the power minus k xz. This is equal to, okay. So if you are willing to evaluate the z transform of the shifted version of the signal, and z transform of the original signal is known to you, then what you need to do? You have to multiply the z transform of the original signal simply by z is to the power minus k. Z is to the power minus k. Getting my point? So now let us solve this signal once again using the time shift property. We have to, if we have to evaluate the z transform of un minus n. This is a signal, and now we have to solve it using the time shift property. Okay, the time shift property. What this property says? Okay, this signal is simply the shifted version of un, and what is shift? N is the amount of shift. So this has to be multiplied by z is to the power minus n, and here 1 minus this, and then this is simply, you can say, now you have to evaluate the z transform of un, and this has to be multiplied by the z transform of un, and what is the z transform of un? 1 over 1 minus z inverse. Okay. So simply by using the time shift property, you directly evaluated the z transform of this signal. Okay. This can be written as your one minus z is to the power minus n, and you can take un common now. Okay. Because this shift will result into the multiplication of z is to the power minus n term, z is to the power minus n. So there is one more property, that is scaling in z domain. This property is scaling in z domain. Suppose if the z transform of xn is xz, then if this xn is multiplied by some scaling factor alpha to the power n, then what will be the z transform of this? Is there any relationship of the z transform of this with the z transform of earlier signal? So this z transform says that the z transform of this signal will be this x a inverse z, or you can say that this is equal to x z by a. Means the z transform of this signal at the place at all places where there were z in that expression, this will be replaced by z by a. Simply saying, all the places where there are z in the expression of this z transform, this will be replaced by z by a, and similarly the region of convergence will also be modified. Okay. So, you can simply prove this by taking the mathematical expression for evaluating z transform. So, z transform of any signal, say alpha n x n, we suppose this signal to be a complete some signal, say x1 n. Okay. So, this is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity and alpha n x n and z is to the power minus n. Okay. So, simply we will n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x n, and this will be equal to alpha inverse z to the power minus n. Okay. So, now this is the expression for z transform in this. At the place of z we have alpha inverse z over here. At the place of z we have alpha inverse z. What does it mean? It means that at every places where there was z in this expression will be replaced by alpha inverse z. And what about the region of convergence? Suppose if the region of convergence in general, if this was less than some R2 and was greater than some R1, means it was some annular ring, then this will be, for this it will be z by alpha less than some R2, simply it will be replaced by z by alpha, and greater than some R1. Okay. So, if we rearrange this expression, what we will obtain? We will obtain that z is less than some alpha R2, and it will be greater than some alpha R1. Okay. This is the region of convergence of this z transform. So, simply by using this property we can evaluate the z transform of the signal. Suppose x n is the signal given to us, which is a n cos omega 0 n u n. This is the signal given to us. Then the z transform of cos omega 0 n u n is known to us. Okay. The z transform of cos omega 0 n u n is known to us, and if we look at this expression, okay, I am directly coming to the result of that expression. If suppose x1 n was cos omega 0 n u n, and we evaluate the z transform of this, so it is equal to 1 minus z inverse cos omega 0 over 1 minus 2 z inverse cos omega 0 plus z is to the power minus 2. It is not appearing. Okay. So, by using the property we have to evaluate the z transform of a n x n. So, this will be the z transform of this signal at every place where there was z in the expression, it will be replaced by z by a. Getting my point? So, if you simply modify this expression, it is 1 minus cos omega 0 over z over 1 minus 2 cos omega 0 over z plus 1 over z square. So, every z is replaced by z by a. This means this will be a z, this will be a z, and this will be a square. So, this can further be written as 1 minus a z inverse cos omega 0 1 minus 2a z inverse cos omega 0 plus a square z is to the power minus 2. Okay, getting my point? And the region of convergence will be, there the region of convergence was mod z was greater than 1, and here z by a will be greater than 1. So, simply mod z is greater than mod a. This is the region of convergence for this signal. Okay. Now, I will explain one more thing, that is time reversal. Time reversal property. This property says that if the z transform of signal xn is known to us and this is xz, then what is the z transform of the folded version of the signal? Is there any relationship between this z transform and the z transform of earlier signal? So, if we evaluate, we see that the z transform of this signal happens to be at every place where there was z in this expression will be replaced by 1 by z. So, similarly, the ROC will also be reversed. Okay. Suppose if it is having ROC, mod z is less than R2 is greater than some R1. So, naturally at the place of z we will have 1 by z. So, 1 by z is less than R2 and is greater than R1. So, simply it will be modified for z, this expression will be modified for z. Okay. So, just if we proceed straightforward, so the z transform of any signal n is equal to minus infinity to infinity and the signal is x minus n, this is z is to the power minus n. Okay. We replace minus n to be equal to L, minus n to be equal to L. So, simply this will be equal to summation will range from L is equal to minus infinity to infinity now. These things will be reversed. L is equal to infinity to minus infinity. So, it can be written as L is equal to minus infinity to infinity, no harm. XL and Z is to the power, Z is to the power L. You can say that this is minus 1 to the power minus L, minus 1 to the power minus L. So, this is simply the x z inverse, means the inside the bracket this expression will come out. Okay. What it explains that every z in this expression is replaced by z inverse. Okay. So, this way you can evaluate the z transform of the folded version of the signal. Suppose if z transform of un is known to you, we have already evaluated it. What is the z transform of un? It is z over z minus 1 or 1 over 1 minus z inverse. This was the z transform of un. And what was the ROC? Mod z was greater than 1. So, what will be the z transform of u minus n? Simply by using property, every z will be, or every 1 by z will be replaced by z, or every z will be replaced by 1 by z. So, this will be 1 by z over 1 by z minus 1. Getting my point? Or simply you can say that this will be 1 over 1 minus z. Okay. So, this way you can directly find out the z transform of the folded version of the signal, and the ROC will also reverse. Mod z will now be less than minus 1. Okay. So, this way by using property you can very easily evaluate the z transform of some unknown signals, if the z transform of some standard signal are known to you. Okay. In the next lecture I will cover some of the remaining property like differentiation in z domain, what will be the z transform of convolution of two signals, if two signals are convolved in time domain and we are willing to get the z transform of the convolved version of the signal, what will be the z transform, then the z transform of two correlated signals, and then z transform of multiplication of two sequences and Parseval's theorem. Okay. These are the things that I will cover in the next lecture, and initial value theorem also, initial value theorem. Okay.